welcome to Simproved, Fry speaking here, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. And this time we are going to build in Sun myshuno because this is the start of our Dark Sun myshuno world. I don't know what to call it yet. We are going to get some ideas from you guys in the comments down below, where vampires will live, maybe even other monsters that we will get, with the upcoming expansion packs and so on. And I thought we are going to build a factory which is turned into a nightclub. And I got inspired by basically, for example, Gotham from the Batman series. There's also a TV series, I would say, that's called Gotham. I looked at the set design there. I also looked at the set designs of several computer games, for example Dishonored, because a viewer of mine has suggested Dishonored. Also, for example, Bioshock, which has also this dark deco, I guess somebody even called it in the Gotham series. And also, of course, the Batman Gotham, which from the Tim Burton movies, which is also kind of a little cartoonish, which I really liked and which I think would fit into the Sims series here as well. So yeah, we are going to build a Dark Sun myshuno, which is a world that you get if you have the City Living expansion pack for The Sims 4. And it's basically like a very modern and very happy looking metropolis or big city. And I thought we are going to fill this and make it a little bit more darker, since I'm much more of a horror fan. And I've also talked to some of very talented sim modders who are also currently apparently working on a dystopian mod, which would fit perfectly into this whole thing. So hopefully when we are like halfway done or even done with the Sun myshuno project, we can even use this with a nicer modded exterior world all around it. So yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the factory here. So I at first didn't know what to build at all. I just started building. I know that for me, for example, since Gotham was more of a inspiration here, it has this very monumental buildings. They are huge brick buildings with dark brick and very dark, I would say, trims. Has this Art Deco 40s, like New York in the 30s and 40s look. And I really like this, so we are going to do this here too for the factory. I also looked at some of the set designs that were used in the, I guess it's called Arkham Asylum or the Arkham City. I'm not really sure. There are two games where you can play Batman and several others of the franchise. So yeah, those have really nice set design and I got inspired by them too. At first I needed an idea what kind of factory it is to know what kind of, how the layout should be. And since this is at the docks in the spice market in this world, there should be a cannon factory, like canning to put tuna fish or other fish into cans. And usually they have kind of these, I even looked that up, that word, conveyor belts, I guess it is called in English. So anyways, there are these belts, production lines that go through these factories where all the fish are stored and maybe even the cans. And then at the end it goes all around the third floor, I believe, and also into the factory, for example. And then outside there will be a little pool with really muddy water and some steamers. So it looks like fog, as if there's like hot boiling radioactive water in there. And there they dump the fish or the waste that they basically produced during the production here. And I thought it would be also really cool for a dark dystopian city, so maybe your mob or any other crime lord that you are going to play is going to dump their corpses in there, for example. So I thought that would be a really cool idea. Maybe that's too dark for you now, but I really like that idea anyways. So yeah, this is why it looks maybe a little kind of odd, but I wanted to go with a very over-exaggerated look of a factory, because usually, of course, these just look like normal big blocks, and maybe they have like an intricate roof design sometimes. But the Gotham that I kind of like looked at the set design, it was very structural. It all looks like temples and kind of castles, like forts, I would say. And this is what I wanted to do here too. So there will be some brick columns that almost look like chimneys, But then I will put these spikes on there, so it looks like a fort or a castle of some sorts. Something that is hard to occupy by others. Because in Gotham, or in my vision of our Dark Sun myshuno world, I thought it would be really cool if maybe a mob boss or any kind of supervillain is maybe living there, and as if it's like a fort for them. Because usually in the Batman comics, or I can especially remember, of course, the cartoon series that I watched in the 90s, they always lived in these factories or had their headquarters in the factories, and they had their goons walking around with guns, and they were kind of guarding the whole complex. And with the conveyor belt, I thought this is really cool because they can walk over the conveyor belt almost through the whole building, and even inside you can see then that they can even look in every kind of floor, which I thought is also really practical and cool. So I used these roof spikes kind of everywhere just to suggest that it is kind of also like a fort. And a good friend of mine, Gizmo, he even said it looks like the spikes that I usually always do in 7 Days to Die, which is also like a horror survival game, and there are these spikes, and I always like to build them there because they are really useful for holding back the zombie hordes that you encounter there in this kind of game. So yeah, so the conveyor belt goes outside on the 3rd floor all around it, and then ends over the pool, which I will also put in the back side of this house. And I also, of course, used the most tallest wall height, just to suggest that it's like a really huge, massive building made out of brick. And also these kinds of columns with the spikes and everything, they were really useful to make it look as if it's like a really massive building, although I used lots and lots of windows. So basically it would have had, without these columns, a really huge glass facade, which I didn't want it to have. I really wanted it to look massive, not as fragile. So yeah, also on the other side you can see that there is like a, I guess it's called fire staircase, but I'm not sure. But yeah, usually these New York buildings, brick buildings, have this kind of stairs, and I really like that idea because I didn't want to have any stairs inside of the factory, because that wouldn't have made any sense for me personally. Also, I think that's okay for the Sims game, so they will really work. And then at the end, for the interior design especially, I was super sure that on the top floor I wanted to make like a super elegant looking lounge with like a piano. So you can at the end even set this slot to a nightclub, a bar, or a lounge, just how you prefer the gameplay with it. And yeah, it was really interesting to build this because it was really much fun. It was something really different. I've never built a factory, I believe. I'm not sure, maybe in the first year of my YouTube channel or so. But yeah, I really couldn't remember that I even did that. And most of the factories that I looked at in the Sims 4 gallery, they were these kinds of maybe lavishly decorated but huge boxes made out of brick. And this is what I didn't want to do here. I wanted to have like some kind of more interesting interior and exterior design. And yeah, I hope that I achieved that. I really hope that you like it, guys. So it was kind of hard with all the different shapes and forms and windows that I wanted to use to make it look more interesting. And also it was kind of hard to choose something that looks run down from the exterior, but from the interior will look very nicely and very elegant, because this is what I wanted to do here. In the interior it will look very elegant, like a luxurious club, because I'm a big fan of the Gotham series, and Fish Mooney is a character there, and she has like this very lavish nightclub there with red tones, and it looks really elegant. And this is what I wanted to do here too. So I wanted to make it look really industrial and kind of dark and kind of in a cartoony Gotham way that would be a factory at the docks. And yeah, I really like that idea with also the pool, which you can see here with, yeah, the muddy water and everything. And it looks really cool. Also at the end I will put some steamers in there, so there will always be like a constant fog in there, as if something is brewing in there. And yeah, I really like that idea. Also your Sims can swim in there, of course, since it is a pool. But yeah, maybe I recommend it. I don't know. Maybe you want to redo like the Joker or something. I think that there was like the idea that he basically swam into like a chemical substance or something. That was kind of an interesting thing. So as always, I built the exterior first, did all the decorations with in mind that there has to be the conveyor belt in the interior as well. And after I've done all the decorations and everything from the exterior, I started to do the interior. And yeah, first I did the interior structure with the conveyor belt, where your Sims also can walk over and look on the different floors. So I deleted lots of floors and made like lots of cutouts in the interior as well. So it looks like a factory that has been repurposed into a nightclub. Or maybe even a evil villain nightclub or whatever, headquarters, something like that. That was like the main idea of that. So I used lots of metal and brick wallpaper, for example. The main color theme inside is, I would say, black brick, gray brick, black and red tones. And it was kind of a shame. First, of course, I wanted it to look very run down, like an alternative nightclub, I would say. But that simply wasn't possible with the interior design, since with any pack we have enough objects that could bring that idea or design type into the game, especially for nightclubs, because like the bar racks where all the bottles are put on, they look pretty fancy, and also the bars look pretty fancy in my opinion, so that was kind of hard to do. Maybe with another pack I can do another factory nightclub right next to it or something that will be more alternative, also looking from the interior design, like more run down, I would say, and kind of occupied maybe, and not really owned by a nightclub owner of some kind. So yeah, interior design, of course, they have their obligatory bathrooms, 3 toilets, 2 sinks, so that will work fine. I've tested, of course, the whole lot, so this is working all fine. Also at the end, you will see lots of these video shots that I'm going to do from now on, since you guys wrote me in the last video that you really enjoyed that for my last, like the fitness, Artico fitness temple that I did. And yeah, I really enjoyed that too, so we are going to do this here too, of course, and from now on in all builds, I hope so that I can manage to do that. So the first floor has, of course, the huge bar, and there will also be a huge dance floor. So this is like the main dance floor there, where also like the public goes to. And since I used a foundation, I could use the cutout of the foundation to make separate areas. So it has more structure in the interior design. So I made like a fence on the floor and then just deleted the floor. So I was able to do like a little built-in section into the floor, which will be the dance floor, of course, the main dance floor. Then upstairs there will be a little VIP area just behind the DJ, because it's always cooler to, of course, be near the DJ. I chose like the black leather sofas that came with the diner pack, and kinda put these red curtains all around it, and also the fence that looks like this typical, I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it. But yeah, for me these are like the VIP fences, so I use that here too. And of course more champagne bottles and some roses and some fruit, like little extras that maybe just the VIP party guests can use. And yeah, I thought that would be a really cool idea. The main dance floor will have 2 large dance floors, which are 5 by 5, and of course lots of these laser shows that were kind of hard to find. They were at Misc Lights or something. It took me a long time to find them. But yeah, and also all around it there are some normal tables with some black chairs, which I also like and kind of look very modern in some kind of way. So yeah, I really like that. You can also see my little self-sim there, just randomly standing there, because she, of course, like always, had to test this lot during the build. So I could really assure that all the Sims can get to every kind of corner and use every kind of object. I really hope that you won't have any problems while playing with this, but yeah, so far I could test it for 4 or 5 days, 5 sim days. and I had absolutely no problems playing with that. Of course, since this is a very huge lot, I hadn't so many Sims there, so it kind of looked empty, but this is like a game issue, I would say. You will see that in the screenshots as well. I know that there are some mods where you get more Sims into the community lots, so maybe this would be like an option for a better gameplay next time or something. I have to get into these mods still, because I never use any CC. Also, this lot here has no CC at all, of course. Absolutely custom content free, so you can directly download this from the Sims 4 gallery, and also, like always, the link will be down in the video description down below for you guys, so yeah, you can grab it there. And on the second floor there will be also 2 dance floors, so I thought maybe you need 2 dance floors. One is like for one music genre and the other is playing the other music genre. Usually the nightclubs where I have been to that are really huge, like this build for example, I can remember that one in Madrid, what was it called, but I'm not really sure, in Madrid, and it has like, I guess, even 5 stories or so. It was a really big nightclub in the heart of Madrid. Maybe my Spanish viewers can write down in the comments what it is called and if even this nightclub even exists, but I can remember that. So there were like lots of different dance floors as well. Like one was with hip-hop and the other one was industrial rock and the other one was house electronic music. And I really like that. You could really hop like from one area to the other if you did like one certain song or something. And yeah, I really like that idea. I wanted to do this here too, since huge factory building is of course a really large building that kind of has to be filled somehow. So yeah, 2 dance floors with also a DJ set if you want to, so you can switch if you want to. And then on the upper floor there also is this, I call it the dark lounge. It's very elegant, and since I personally want to play with vampires here, I even made this lot a vampire nexus, which is a trade for this lot, so more vampires will come to that lot than usually to community lots. And I thought they kind of lure maybe their prey in this elegant lounge. Kind of looks very romantic on a rooftop. And it has this industrial chic, which is very common also in Germany, because we have some really high-end lounges and high-end nightclubs that are in old factories. And those are really expensive, and they have this really nice interior design, which is really chic and very elegant and classy. And then it clashes with the brick and the harder industrial tools that may be left there still. And that looks really cool. It's a really nice design somehow, and it's a nice experience to maybe witness once in your lifetime. So I really wanted to do that here too. And of course, since this is a very dark, huge building, I had to play with lots and lots of the lighting in the game, which took me about, I guess, 4 hours. Yeah, I would say 4 hours. So it will have a very colorful lighting palette with greens, reds and blues. And yeah, you will see that in the end shots and not see that here in the speed build, because that took a lot of time to manipulate every kind of little light on this slot. And I really had to click on one light and say, okay, you have to be red, you have to be green, and this one has to be blue. And it took lots and lots of time. But I really liked how it looked like at the end. Also gives more of a cartoonish and very felt in look somehow. So this is something that we are going to experiment further in my myshuno builds. And yeah, I really hope that you like this factory, and maybe write me in the comments down below how we are going to call our myshuno project, because we have the Willow Creek campus, but myshuno, dark myshuno doesn't like sound so cool. So if you have any suggestions how we can call our dark, Gotham-like, dystopian city myshuno, then please feel free to write me your idea in the comments down below. And then maybe in the next video we can have a little vote and vote together, because we are always building together, guys, you know. Of course, as always, please feel free to leave me your suggestions down below. I have to build next for our myshuno world. And yeah, that's basically it. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please enjoy the video shots, and I will see you soon. Bye bye!